Alright, so the Russo brothers just changed their Twitter profile picture to Bucky holding Cap's shield. What does this mean? Does this mean that Bucky will take over the mantle as Captain America? I definitely think so. So I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I feel like Bucky will be the next Captain America. Alright, so Bucky will become the next Captain America. I know it. I'm going to bet my money on it. He's going to be the next Captain America. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Bucky will take on the mantle or the shield, right? Alright, so reason 1 is because Marvel is going to follow the comic books. Bucky taking on the mantle or the shield follows the comic books like that. It's just like how Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. It's definitely going to be it's going to happen the same way, right? And so in the comic books, Steve Rogers dies. He dies as Captain America. He gets shot, and then Bucky takes on the shield and becomes Captain America for a long period of time. And while he's Steve Rogers does come back to the comic books, but he does not come back as Captain America. He does work as S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's kind of working behind the scenes while Bucky's in the forefront. And it's a great run in the comic books, written by Ed Brubaker, one of my favorite writers from Marvel. It was so awesome. You know, like the difference between Bucky's costume and Cap's costume was that from what it seemed like, it looked like Bucky's suit was a lot shinier. It looked like it was made out of metal, probably because of his arm. And he carried a gun, and obviously he had a shield. And so those are the difference. He also, you know, he kept the A, he kept the star, but everything was different, you know, with the gun and stuff. And so I feel like they're definitely going to adapt this. If you feel like Marvel hasn't been following the comic books in their movies, because they, you know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But they've been following the comic books with Bucky's character, right? Right from the first Avenger, Captain's first movie. You know, they didn't have to bring or kill off Bucky, right? They didn't even have to put him in there. They didn't have to put him in there to begin with. But they did. They killed him off at that time. They froze him, just like the comics. You know, I didn't think they were going to do that. When I saw him fall from the train, you know, I didn't think they were going to actually bring him back. And so I was really surprised when I found out, you know, the second movie was called Winter Soldier, because I knew exactly what that meant. And so, you know, they brought him back. They brought him back, and they manipulated him. They made him work as an assassin, just like the comic books, And we see that relationship with Cap and Bucky is the same thing, like in the comic books. And it's everything else in the MCU. You know, they changed some certain things. They made Iron Man create Ultron and all this other things, but with Bucky, they kept that the same. You know, they're following his high points in the comic books. So I definitely feel like they're following the narrative of the comic books, and I definitely feel like he will be the one to take up on the mantle. And I don't feel like Falcon will be the next Captain America. And I'll definitely let you guys know why further down the line, my other reasons. Alright, here we go. So number 2, the second reason why I feel like Bucky will become Cap next is because it follows the narrative. It follows the narrative of what has happened in the MCU. From what we know right now, you know, Cap has done everything for Bucky, right? They're like best friends. They're BFFs for life. BFFs for life, right? You know, they're brothers in arms. They will do everything together. You know, get at girls together. They grew up together and all that stuff. And so, you know, Cap was there. He defended him, and once he found out Winter Soldier was Bucky, you know, he fought for him for Civil War. You know, he went against Iron Man for Bucky, right? So Bucky means a lot to Cap. Cap means a lot to Bucky, right? And so let's imagine this. In Infinity War, you know, we see Steve Rogers dressed as Nomad, right? Nomad was confirmed by the Russo brothers again on social media today on his Instagram, confirming that Steve Rogers is Nomad. Basically, he abandoned the suit, he abandoned the suit and he's calling himself Nomad, just like in the comics, right? And so in Infinity War, let's imagine this: he is Nomad throughout the entire Part 1 movie, right? And at the very end of the movie, he could, he finally gets inspired to get the shield back. He holds the shield and he becomes Cap again. He says, "Avengers assemble," and everyone's behind him, right? And then Part 2 happens, and Cap, he dies. He dies, or he runs off into the sunset. But we know that Chris Evans, because we know Chris Evans' contract is over, right? Chris Evans has said it multiple times. He's done with being Cap for now. And so he dies. Let's imagine he dies first, right? He dies first, and what happens next? How does that affect Bucky? Bucky will be devastated. He will be so sad. He'll be broken because one, he's by himself, from where he came from, like the time, he came from World War I, right? And so, no, World War II, sorry. And so he's devastated, and he just lost his best friend, right? And so everyone will at that point in time will probably motivate him to continue his legacy. And I'm pretty sure Bucky will want to too, to take up the shield, just because he will honor his best friend and continue his legacy as Captain America. And that definitely fits the story because of the relationship that the MCU has built between these two guys, right? And all right, now let's assume that he runs off to the sunset, drives off with Sharon Carter, right? And he gives up being Cap. Who will he choose to become Cap? Falcon or Bucky? Bucky, right? Because we've seen so far that they have a stronger relationship. He's not gonna pick Falcon. He's gonna pick Bucky. It's very obvious that these two guys have a connection, and Bucky is his favorite, right? That's his boy, right? And no way that Steve Rogers is gonna choose Falcon over Bucky. Never. It's not gonna happen. All right. So my last and final point, my third point, is because Falcon's not gonna choose to be Cap. He's not gonna want to be Cap. Falcon will want to become Falcon. Despite what happens to Cap in Part 2, say if he dies or runs off to the sunset, he will continue. He would want to honor Captain America as Falcon and be who he is. We know that Falcon looks up to Steve Rogers. He looks up to him so much, right? That's like his mentor. But that doesn't mean he's gonna take up his shield, because he obviously sees Bucky there. He's gonna want to honor him his own way, right? Because he loves being Falcon. He's not gonna let that go. So I definitely feel like everyone in the Avengers will honor him their own way, their own specific way, but Bucky will honor him by taking up the shield, because it just makes sense. It's perfect character development for Bucky, especially since everyone was against him in Civil War, and everyone will look up to him and will love him by Part 2. All right, so those are all my reasons why I feel like Bucky will become the next Captain America. If you definitely disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. Give me your 3 reasons why he won't be Captain America, and I guess I'll see you guys again. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and like this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.